Bill here. Welcome to Devil's Playthings, where we explore a vast spectrum of interests, hobbies, and collections. In trying to provide a little background on the subject of ancient Chinese kung fu weapons, the previous episode led to having two parts. With martial arts being wide in depth and vast in subject, the focus was to be informative, with a brief history of its place in American culture and a background in my interests throughout my lifetime. Even with the content being basic, time filled up quickly, leading us to our current juncture, the continuation of the topic and the meat of the matter. So it began. In Kung Fu, there are three categories of weapons: long, short, and flexible. Long weapons are usually a stick or pole arm of varying lengths, some with specified blade attachments, some with spear and counterweights. Short weapons consist of multiple styles of swords, clubs, and handheld blades. These can be used single or paired. And flexible weapons consist of sticks connected by chains, metal bars connected by rings, or ropes and chains with weighted attachments. I thought I would get two weapons that appealed to me the most and learn their movements: double whip chains and double tiger hook swords. Of course, these ended up being two of the hardest to use together. I purchased these, and other things that were never really on my radar were suddenly interesting to me. Weapons I didn't have an interest in worked naturally with me and ended up becoming some of my favorites. I bought a new weapon once a month or more for quite some time.
My China girl, I feel a wreck without my little China girl. I hear her heart beating loud as thunder, slowly stars crashing. I'm a mess without my little China girl. Wake up in the morning is my little China girl. I hear hearts beating loud as thunder. I saw the stars crashing down. I've been tragic like I'm Marlon Brando when I look at my China girl. And I could pretend nothing really meant too much when I look at my China girl.
Stumble into town just like a sacred cow. Visions of swastikas in my head, plans for everyone. It's in the way of my eyes. My little China girl, you shouldn't mess with me. I'll ruin everything you are. You know, I'll give you television, I'll give you eyes of blue, I'll give you a man who wants to rule the world. And when I get excited, My little China girl says, oh baby, just you shut your mouth.
There were no teachers in my area, so I ordered VHS and DVDs straight from China of the monks instructing movements in Chinese with no English, and I would just tenaciously follow along with the forms. Everybody has their heroes that they hold in high regard in the arena of who's better than who, and I'm not shy about jumping into the game. Lightning fast, agile, skilled and knowledgeable, for me, it's Jet Li, hands down. Highly underappreciated, he is 100% the real deal. An iconic champion of Kung Fu for the country of China itself, he was all-round national champion 5 years in a row, which nobody else has achieved. He holds 15 gold medals and 1 silver. Being so good at age 12, he was forced to compete against the adults, and he beat them. He was part of a national team that represented the nation, which traveled to 45 countries, and he personally performed for Richard Nixon as part of normalizing U.S. relations with China. His first film at age 18, The Shaolin Temple, aided in reviving the popularity of the actual Shaolin Temple itself. The fight choreography is also genuine to form, and better than any other from the time period. Many of the weapon variations are also shown. I don't intend to profile Jet Li as an idol worship of a hero whose flair inspired an interest in his craft. To the contrary, he is included as an exemplary illustration of a masterful practitioner of the very subject at hand. In film, much of the fight choreography is newly created for the best visual experience of the action, with little, if any, tradition behind it. Li's execution includes actual traditional forms that date back hundreds of years, and shows the specific movements intended for every weapon demonstrated in his film. To the uninformed, Many routines may seem flashy and impractical for combat. This may be, but there are many unseen maneuvers in just brief seconds between one clearly visible point to another, some with multiple applications. It's a tool to sharpen forethought, knowledge, and imagination. Forms are meant to enhance strength, agility, speed, stamina, power, handling, and muscle memory, to name a few. Many movements used to fight are included. These can be drawn from memory as needed. It is not intended as a do it in this order or it won't work type of thinking. It's very abstract. If a weapon is spinning like a helicopter in a form, it is to display control over the tool. It doesn't mean that you would necessarily use it this way in a combat situation. Picture a portion of the spin as a strike immediately followed by a second, or knocking away an attack followed by a strike, or one block followed by another. This is the idea behind this type of exercise. It is also the artisan part of the art. Being in numerous films, it's true. They are not all good, but some, in my humble opinion, are the best in the genre. Shaolin Temple, Fists of Legend, Hero, Unleashed, Fearless, and Warlords are among the best ever made. One thing that especially stands out is the flawless fluidity and the noticeable applications in the movements during the action. Many times varying styles are pitted against each other and you can clearly see the differences, which I also love to notice being executed. In this scene from the movie Fearless, Chinese-style spear fighting is pitted against the Western style. It becomes clear that one is wielded strictly for charging with maximum distance and thrusting. The other has more complexity. Being purposely flexible, it has a snake-like quality and is used to block, deflect, evade, strike, and thrust. It can also sneak around a block and continue with a strike. The dyed horsehair is meant to distract the eye from predicting attacks, as well as to absorb blood to keep it off of the grip. In this scene, the European fencing style is pitted against the Chinese straight sword. Both are made to thrust, pierce, and block. Again, the Chinese style has a more complex snake-like circular movement and an ornament for distraction. A weapon that didn't initially appeal to me was the monk's spade, a polearm with a shovel-like attachment at one end and a steel crescent on the opposite end for a counterweight. This ended up fitting my body type perfectly, and the movements felt natural, becoming one of my favorites. These were very heavy weapons with multiple attack options. Some of the applications include striking, clubbing, bludgeoning, chopping, pinning, stabbing, jabbing, blocking, and snaring. Actor Gordon Liu popularized the monk spade in the film 36 Chambers of Shaolin. Though performing a southern style, the movements are less fluid. This scene does an excellent job of conveying the imagination used in envisioning applied techniques during practice of the movements. Another weapon that didn't initially appeal to me was the Quan Dao, a polearm with a large wide blade at one end and a counterweighting spear at the other. This was the original weapon designed by a famous Chinese general named Guan Yu and was used as a military battlefield weapon. Some of the applications include cutting, chopping, slashing, ripping, gashing, striking, stabbing, piercing, spearing, and blocking. A superb example of the Quan Dao in action, and one of my all-time favorite fight scenes, performed by Jet Li in the movie War Boys.
He's risking his life to make me fight.
It's an excellent demonstration of how the movements could be executed in combat. A favorite of mine since childhood, and unique as well, the three-sectional staff is made up of a long pole cut into thirds and connected by metal rings. The applications include gripping one end for long distance down and horizontal strikes, immediately followed by rebounding strikes. Gripping the middle gave more control for medium distance strikes, gripping both ends for close range multiple striking and blocking combinations, or jabbing and snaring. In the movie Fearless, many of the unique movements and uses of the three-sectional staff are showcased flawlessly. Examples of blocking options, clearly showcasing all three strike distances, whipping motions and actions, multiple attacks, and close range applications. often drives the point home that it takes a special skill to wield this unique tool. One of my all-time favorite martial arts weapons is the chain whip, consisting of a handle with differing numbers of metal bars connected by rings and a heavy steel dart at the end. This can be used as single or double. Some of its applications include shooting out, up and down cross strikes, blocking, snaring, and wrapping. As an excellent reference point, I will leave you with the absolute best Chinese weapon fight scene of all time, displaying the applications of many differing weapons in one confrontation. In Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Michelle Yeoh confronts Zhang Ji, who has stolen a magic sword and must use every tool at her disposal. First, a broadsword is used, which is made for chopping and slashing. One can hide a second, which can be unveiled as a surprise attack. Second, she chooses the spear, again demonstrating the snake-like circular movements and thrusting strikes. Next, the tiger hook sword, showing its unique hooking, snaring, and blocking features, as well as demonstrating hooking the two together to use as one extended weapon. My favorite part is where she attempts to wield a monk spade, but is too small for such a heavy weapon. She then chooses a hard whip, a steel sword type weapon used as a club.
什么？那是李慕白的剑。
有本事来拿。
有本事就别用宝剑。
打不赢怪兵器不好。去啊，随便挑，我等着你。去啊。
She finally tries to even the score with straight sword for straight sword. I hope you have enjoyed this glimpse into my obsession with ancient Chinese weapons. Maybe it will be an inspiration to some, and until next time, I don't know about everybody, but I, for one, will be Kung Fu fighting.